I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me...
Hello everyone, back again on the V Squad TV channel. Taehyung asking for sound adjustments before his Love Me Again stage at Jin's concert. In a dimly lit rehearsal studio, Taehyung sat calmly on the polished wooden floor, eyes closed, breathing steady, and shoulders relaxed as he prepared for one of the most emotional returns to the stage in his career. The gentle hum of equipment, scattered conversations between staff, and the soft echo of footsteps filled the room, but Taehyung stayed still, centering himself before beginning. It was a moment of quiet before a performance that would carry 2 years' worth of longing. His sleeveless black top revealed toned arms that moved subtly as he adjusted the cable of his in-ear monitors. He rolled his shoulders once, then exhaled deeply, ready to pick up the mic again after what felt like an eternity. The unusual weight of the familiar device made him pause, as if holding it rewound the clock to the last time he stood on stage before enlistment. When he finally spoke, his words were soft but filled with honesty. Since before I enlisted, I haven't done it perform, for a while. So, 2 years? It's been 2 years since I held a mic. Same for in-ears. First time in 2 years. Feels so strange. The staff around him smiled gently, knowing how meaningful this moment was, not just for the rehearsal, but for him personally. As he rose to his feet, Taehyung tapped his red in-ears and gave a small signal to the audio team. "Let's adjust the sound a little," he said, his tone serious but calm. "I want the background softer on the second verse. And bring the mid-range up just slightly. My voice needs to sit above the instrumentation." His attention to detail was sharp, precise, like he never paused performing at all. The sound engineer nodded quickly and made the necessary adjustments. Taehyung listened again, head tilting to the side as he tested the resonance. "A little more. Yes. That's better. Let's make sure everything's perfect." Even in a simple rehearsal, he sought perfection. Not out of pressure, but out of genuine love for performing. He lifted the mic to his lips, and for a second, the room went breathlessly still. His first note, smooth, husky, unmistakably Taehyung, floated into the air. It wasn't even the full power of his voice, just a warm-up line, but it immediately filled the room with emotion. The staff looked at each other as if silently agreeing. This man hasn't lost a single thing. He's only become better. When he started singing Love Me Again, the atmosphere shifted entirely. His voice carried a weight that came from time, growth, longevity, and resilience. Every rise and fall in tone felt deeper than before, as despite the 2-year gap had given his voice new layers of emotion. The room was no longer just a rehearsal space. Suddenly it felt like a private concert. He stopped again mid-verse, laughing softly as he shook his head. "Ah, it's so strange holding a mic again," he repeated, this time with a hint of nostalgia. "But it feels good. Really good." His smile warmed the room, replacing the earlier stillness with a shared sense of excitement. The next run-through was smoother, richer, more confident. He stepped across the rehearsal space, his movements flowing naturally with the rhythm. At one point, he closed his eyes again, letting his voice echo gently, as if rediscovering the feeling of performing after years of missing it. Anyone watching could see how much he had longed for this, how much he had missed singing freely. Between verses, he paused again to ask for more adjustments. "Let's bring the reverb down a bit. The lower notes need to be drier. And can we increase my right in-ear slightly? I want to hear the harmony clearer." Every instruction was thoughtful, precise, and deeply attuned to the emotional tone.
Is everybody in the world blind?
As he rehearsed the chorus, his voice grew stronger, more resonant. His chest voice blended seamlessly into his falsetto, creating a breathtaking contrast. He wasn't just singing. He was pouring out emotions he had held inside for 2 years. Anyone listening would have felt chills. Taehyung lowered the mic after the chorus, nodding in satisfaction. "Okay, that's closer to what I want." He wiped a bit of sweat from his brow, breath steady but glowing with renewed confidence. The way he analyzed the sound setup made it clear how invested he was in every detail. He took a moment to stretch his arms, revealing even more of the strength he'd built during enlistment. His physique wasn't the only thing that changed. His posture, his focus, his aura all felt upgraded. He radiated quiet strength, the kind that comes from discipline and growth. When he started the song again, he swayed slightly to the beat, letting his body naturally react to the melody. His voice glided through each line effortlessly, wrapping the room in an emotional warmth that felt almost tangible. "Let me try the bridge one more time," he said, raising a hand. He cleared his throat softly, adjusted his posture, and sang with a raw, soul-stirring sincerity that sent goosebumps across the room. It was the kind of voice that didn't just sound beautiful, it hurt beautiful. When the audio team asked if he wanted more adjustments, he shook his head slightly. "No, this is good. This is the feeling." There was a hint of pride in his tone, pride in his team, pride in his voice, pride in the moment of returning. In between rehearsing, he chuckled at himself for messing up a line out of habit. "It's been so long," he said again, a mixture of amusement and tenderness in his voice. But even then, his mistakes sound melodic, adding charm instead of disrupting the flow. As he continued singing, his voice gained more richness, warming up completely. Each repetition grew more polished, more expressive, more Taehyung. It was like watching someone rediscover a part of themselves they didn't realize they missed this deeply. Toward the end of rehearsal, he sat back down on the wooden floor again, resting with the mic still in hand. The room felt calmer now, filled with the lingering vibration of his voice. He looked thoughtful, almost emotional, as if processing the wave of memories and feelings that performing had stirred inside him. "One more time," he said quietly, lifting the mic again. And that final run was pure magic. His voice was smooth, steady, and breathtakingly emotional. Even without an audience, he sang like he was standing on a massive stage under bright lights. When he finished, he exhaled slowly, letting the silence settle. The staff clapped softly, not out of routine, but out of genuine admiration. Taehyung smiled shyly, brushing his hair away from his face. "It feels good to be back," he whispered. The rehearsal ended, but the moment lingered, a symbol of his return, his growth, and his unshakable artistry. And as he walked off stage, mic still in hand, one thing was clear. Taehyung's voice, after 2 years, is stronger, smoother, and more breathtaking than ever. Taehyung stood slowly, straightening the black sleeveless shirt that had been clinging to his body. Even though it was only a rehearsal, his aura was already like standing on a large stage. He stared into the giant mirror at the front of the studio, observing his posture, expression, and the way he carried himself. It was as if the 2 years had made him more sensitive to every tiny detail in his performance. He nodded slightly at his reflection as if to say, "Yes, it's me. I'm back." When the music started again, Taehyung tried to synchronize his footsteps with the beat. He walked slowly, testing how his voice blended with the movements of his body. His low notes resonated softly, while his high notes flowed smoothly without a hint of stiffness. Although he admitted to feeling unfamiliar, there was nothing stiff or hesitant. Instead, there was a powerful sense of artistic maturity that radiated. At one point, he paused and chuckled. "It's
I need to run away